If the last sound you ever hear is the scream of a woman you'll never see, stay tuned as we uncover the terrifying Irish spirit known as the Banshee. You'll learn what a Banshee really is, where this legend comes from, and why her chilling cry has haunted Ireland for centuries. And stay with this video until the end, because the truth about the Banshee is more unsettling than most people realize, and hearing her cry might not be the worst part. Why would a spirit spend eternity screaming for the dead? A Banshee is one of the most feared figures in Irish folklore. She isn't a monster that kills. She isn't a ghost that wanders without purpose. Instead, she is a harbinger, a messenger who warns that death is coming. The name comes from the Irish words Banshee, meaning woman of the fairy mound. In legend, she appears connected to old Irish families, especially clans with surnames beginning in O or Mac. When someone from those bloodlines was near death, the Banshee's wail would echo through the night. But what does she look like? Accounts vary. Some describe her as a young, beautiful woman with flowing hair and pale skin. Others see her as an old crone, with eyes red from endless crying. Whether youthful or ancient, she is always otherworldly, always terrifying. But what makes her scream so terrifying? What does it sound like? The Banshee's cry is called keening, a long, drawn-out wail filled with grief. Imagine the sound of someone mourning at a funeral, but multiplied, twisted, and stretched into the cold night air. It was said to be so piercing that it could stop you in your tracks. Villagers who heard it often froze in fear, knowing that somewhere nearby, death was waiting. Unlike other spirits, she doesn't hide in shadows. She is heard more than seen. Many legends describe farmers or travelers halting at dusk, listening as a faint sob grew louder, until the unmistakable sound of a woman's scream filled the countryside. Moments later, the news of a death would follow. Could the Banshee actually be more than just a myth? The roots of the Banshee legend lie in ancient Irish mourning traditions. In medieval Ireland, families sometimes hired women to cry at funerals, a practice called keening. Over time, people began to believe these cries could be heard before death, carried by a supernatural figure. This belief grew until the keening woman was no longer human, but a spirit bound to the fate of certain families. The Banshee became both feared and respected. She was not evil, but her presence always meant grief was close at hand. Some even believed there wasn't just one Banshee, but many, each one attached to a different clan. Old folklore claimed that if several Banshees cried together, it meant the death of someone of great importance, like a chieftain or a noble. But if she doesn't kill, why is the Banshee still considered so dangerous? The terror of the Banshee isn't in violence. It's in the certainty of what follows. To hear her cry is to know that death is inevitable. The unpredictability is also frightening. Her wail might come on the wind when you are alone at night, or near the window of a quiet home. Families reported her standing at a distance, combing her long silver hair while crying, before vanishing into the mist. In some tales, the hair itself carried danger. It was said that if someone stole a strand of the Banshee's hair, they would be cursed with misfortune until they returned it. The combination of her sound, her sudden appearance, and the doom that followed made her one of Ireland's most chilling supernatural beings. So what happens if you actually see one? Stories tell of men who stumbled upon a woman crying in the woods or washing bloody clothes by the river. At first, they thought she was human, until she vanished before their eyes, leaving nothing behind but the echo of her wail. Others claim that looking directly into her eyes could leave a person shaken for life, haunted by nightmares. In some accounts, the Banshee even appeared to multiple witnesses at once, making her impossible to dismiss as a dream or hallucination. Her presence never brought good fortune. Even if you survived the night, the death she foretold would strike your family soon after. But here's the darkest question of all. What if the Banshee isn't just legend? Across Ireland, there are still reports of unexplained cries in the night. Farmers, travelers, and families living in old rural homes whisper about hearing the keening. Whether it's superstition, the wind, or something far more ancient, the stories continue. The Banshee has become more than a legend. She's a symbol of the thin line between life and death, a reminder that some things cannot be escaped. The Banshee isn't a killer. She isn't even a curse. She is something worse, a voice that promises death will come, whether you are ready or not. And perhaps that is why her legend has survived so long. Because in the silence of the night, when the wind carries a sound you cannot explain, you might start to wonder, was it only the wind, or did you just hear the banshee?